the past few years of my life, I've had this rule with myself where the second a compliment about somebody else pops into my head, I say it, regardless of whether or not I know the person, regardless of the social situation I'm in or what the compliment is about. If I have something nice to say about somebody that I genuinely believe, I get out of my own way and I say it immediately. And so in this video, I want to kind of dive into that subject, explain to you why I have this mindset, why you should adopt the same, and if you do, what you can expect from life. Compliments hold this rare place in conversation and in interactions in which they immediately benefit everybody involved. Everybody is a winner the second somebody gives a genuine compliment, because if you're receiving a compliment, you know how good that feels, right? Maybe it's about your appearance and you feel like you look good today. Maybe it's about a skill or a talent of yours or how much effort you've put into something. When you're given a genuine compliment, you know that it feels incredible. But on top of that, you also know the feeling of being able to get off of your chest this kind of positive thought that you want to share with somebody about them. Maybe you had a hesitancy about saying it and you say it and it starts a conversation. Maybe you feel a certain way about somebody and you give them a compliment and it feels like there is this burden that has been taken off your shoulders. You're just that bit happier, that bit lighter. Compliments are these incredible unlock when it comes to social interaction, when it comes to being yourself, and when it comes to getting to know people that bit more. And so that's kind of the reason why I've lent into them so much over the past few years, because there is very little else that you can do in like 4 seconds of your life that can have such a pivotal, positive impact. There is almost nothing else you can say beyond a compliment that will transform your life sooner. And if you make a habit of doing it, if you make a habit of genuinely just being kind and open and honest to those around you, strangers, friends, family, whoever it might be, and saying nice things as they pop into your head, as you think them, being that authentic version of yourself genuinely has the power to transform your life. And on top of that, we speak a lot about this idea of conversations having threads to them. And the more threads there are in a conversation, the easier it is for two people to kind of bounce off of each other and really get to know each other. So for example, if I were to say to you, "Hi, how are you?" and you say, "Yeah, good," not much to work from there. If I were to say, "Hi, how are you?" and you say, "Yeah, really good. I've been busy at work this week. I've got this new project going on, but I've got a new manager and they're a great person. And actually we share in common the fact that we play netball." There's a bunch of threads there that you can dive into. And when you give a compliment to somebody, you're typically pointing out something which they either already know about themselves or that will be new information to them, right? And in either of those eventualities, you're going to open up lots of threads. Let's say that you're complimenting somebody's shoes. Well, by virtue of the fact that they're choosing to wear those shoes, they have gone out and purchased them, right? They like the design of them. They have picked those over others. There might be a story about why they picked that color, or when they bought them, or whether or not they were hard to get, or if these are the particular shoes they wear to, I don't know, their marathon training, right? There are going to be a bunch of different threads that come out of that single compliment because you're pointing out something unique or special about the person you're speaking to. Although they both seem like very throwaway comments, it's very different from saying, "The weather's nice today," right? "I like your shoes," a bunch of social value there that can be unlocked for both people. "The weather is nice today." Yes, it is. I can see out the window. You don't need to tell me that. So compliments also, as well as having positive benefits for both people involved, have this kind of combined value where beginning a conversation with somebody you know or not with a compliment opens up a bunch of avenues, a bunch of doors for you to then lean into and get to know that person. And actually, when you look at the people who are most successful in our society, the people who we admire, the people who get the most out of life, and you very carefully watch their social interactions, if you just peel back a slight layer, you'll notice that almost immediately in social interactions, they give a compliment to the other person. Somebody who sticks out in my mind who does this very often is Gary Vaynerchuk. I used to watch his Ask Gary V shows a few years back, and you would realize that every single time he sat down with a guest on that show, every single time he sat down with somebody who he admired, he would almost immediately say something nice and genuine and truthful about that person, right? He would compliment their book or what they've done in the past or how they've impacted his life, or even just how they're looking today, right? If they're looking good and healthy, he would compliment that. He would find something very quickly to jump into to kind of take charge of the conversation on a positive note and begin things on such a level whereby it begins on quite a happy, personal, open level. Because when you begin a conversation on that level, the conversation continues on that level. Whereas if you begin a conversation on a surface level, if you begin a conversation by talking about the weather or very generically about weekend plans or some sort of news story, you never really speak about the other person. You never get to hear their stories and their insights and their thoughts and all of these things that actually make them unique. And yet with all of these benefits, there is this kind of social awkwardness that stops so many people saying how they actually feel. It stops them from sharing those thoughts which are in their head. And I tell you that because that was me for a good 24, 25 years of my life. I would be almost paralyzed with fear before I told a girl that she was attractive, or told a stranger that I liked their outfit, or complimented a client in a meeting about something that they had said which was really insightful, right? I would feel as if it wasn't the right time, or it wasn't the right place, or they weren't the right person, or I wasn't the right person. I would get so much in my way about giving compliments. And actually, if you think about your interactions with people you know, with strangers, with family members, with friends, with whoever it might be, and you begin to audit whether or not you're actually saying all of the nice things that pop into your head about them. Every single thing, right? Of course, there's a line, don't start saying weird things. But what I'm saying is, every single time you have a positive thought about somebody, if you're not immediately going from brain to mouth and saying it to that person, it's probably because of some sort of social overthinking, right? You probably are getting in your own way. And in doing that, in getting in your own way, you're actually stopping all of your relationships, all of those conversations, all of that goodwill that you have from ever truly flourishing. And I think it's because we have this negativity bias when it comes to kind of mapping out conversations in our mind, right? We all do it. We all sit there, and before we say something to somebody, or before we send that risky text, or before we have a conversation with our boss, we'll sit there and we won't just plan on face value what we're going to say because that's what we want to say, because that's how we feel. We'll overthink it. We'll go into some sort of 4D chess where we'll be planning the next kind of 7 moves. And if I say this thing, will they say this? And what if they say that? How will I react? But when you do that, your conversations lose almost all of that authenticity. And the second you lose that authenticity, the second you're not able to say how you actually feel, you lose all of the benefits we just spoke about that come from compliments, right? So you should have a policy, a rule with yourself where immediately when you think of something nice that you want to say to somebody, you just say it, right? You don't ponder what their reaction might be. You don't ask what's in it for you. You don't question whether you should rephrase it slightly to be more impactful, rephrase it to get your own way or to play some sort of game. Just immediately, I like your shoes. Immediately, I love that outfit you're wearing today. What you did in that meeting yesterday was actually incredible. Like, it was so good to see the way you did X, Y, Z. Just say it very quickly, very immediately. And I'll be honest, there are a select few times where you say something and you're like, fuck, that's a bit random. Like, I was with a friend of a friend a few months ago, and just out of the blue, as he was leaving this social gathering, I'd been speaking to him for about 2 hours. I was like, your skin's really clear. I was a bit like, oh fuck, that was a bit random. And there will be situations like that. Every now and then, something that you say that is supposed to sound nice will just sound a bit weird. But if 99 times out of 100 it does land, if 99 times out of 100 you manage to have a more positive interaction and improve somebody's day and feel better about yourself through saying 4 or 5 or 6 words, and the trade-off is that 1 in every 100 sounds a bit weird, 1 in every 100 makes you look a bit strange, that is absolutely a gamble worth taking. That is absolutely odds in your favor to almost definitely improve your life. And if you don't believe me, it's not just me who thinks this, right? This isn't just anecdotal. Although having this policy in my life for the last couple of years has genuinely transformed my life. It's made me more confident. It's made me have deeper connections with people, learn more about people, just have a better life, a better network of people around me. The research also agrees. There's research out there to suggest that the same areas of the brain are activated when you receive a compliment as when you receive money, right? Can you imagine if I walked up to you right now and I gave you a £50 note? You would feel pretty good. If I come up to you and I say, I love your outfit, the exact same areas of the brain are being activated. That means that you can essentially walk around and make people feel as if you're handing them £50 notes, feel as if you're giving them something that is valuable from you to them, and you can do that at no cost and basically with no effort. So why would you not? And so the entire premise of this video, if I could boil it down into a few sentences, is essentially giving compliments to people is great for everybody. It is one of those few social interactions where everybody comes out of it immediately feeling better, and yet most of us get in our own way. We get in our own way because we're scared of how we will look. We're scared of how others will react, what they will think of us, and whether it will ruin the dynamic. 99 times out of 100, when you say something nice to somebody with good intentions, your life will improve. So you need to get out of your own way, and you need to begin doing that immediately. And so I have a bit of a challenge for you. If you've got this far in the video, it's likely that you're at least somewhat on board with this idea. You might be a bit skeptical, but you've probably heard enough to think, yeah, actually, I should probably just give more compliments because it's easy and it's good. And so if you are that person, if that's where you're at right now, for the next 7 days, I want you to just follow that policy. From this moment onwards, the second you think something nice about your friends or family, the second you are sat on the tube or on a bus and you like somebody's outfit, so long as it doesn't feel really strange to do it, just tell the person, just say the nice thing, just compliment your colleague, just say something nice to the person who's serving you coffee in the morning, right? Just be that person who adds that slight 1% improvement to people's day and see what happens for just 7 days. And if in 7 days you hate it, fair enough, maybe it's not for you, but I almost guarantee that you doing that for the next 7 days will improve your life and it'll improve the lives of those around you. So go and do it and see what happens. That is everything for this video. If you did make it this far, thank you so much. This has been a bit of a rambly one, but I do appreciate you being here. If you want to see more videos like this on the topics of self-improvement, happiness, and productivity, make sure that you're subscribed. There is a new video here every single Monday, and I'll see you in the next one.